Yeah.
The ones for Father's Day.
Yeah, please toss them in.
Okay.
I forgot them.
Yep, no problem. And where's the bookmarks? The bookmarks. Hey, hey,
That should be
hey.
better. Let's see if it's going to look all weird.
That should be better.
That should be better.
I saw
Hello,
a head.
chat room.
Hello. I saw.
Hello.
I was looking around because the UK is voting on that Brexit thing, them to exit the EU today, or they did. And so I was wondering what the results were, but they're not confirmed, or they weren't like an hour ago when I checked. But I did see on CNN's webpage there was a headline that says Texas woman gains British accent after waking from surgery. And I've heard of this sometimes where they'll have an accident or some kind of injury or something, and they wake up with a different dialect or a different accent that they've never had before.
Yeah, I've heard this too, which is kind of like the
Yeah,
human brain is so weird.
it is so bizarre,
It's so strange.
but it's kind of cool. I kind of, it sucks because, if she was a Texas woman, she had a thick Texas accent, maybe, and then
Yeah.
she turns around British, and then she's gonna have to explain. She what?
So
what?
yeah, I mean, like, and then of course people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, you're being so fake," because so there was a woman, well, a girl. Let's just there was a girl when I went to high school who her family she had people who lived in Britain.
Hmm.
And so she thought it would be fun to start talking with an English accent.
Well, of course it would.
But it was like she was doing it non-ironically. It was like and people were like, "Hey, you're not from Britain." And she's like, "I know." And so it was just this constant like
I
back and
know.
forth, I know. And then people would make fun of her because and then one day she just decided to not do it anymore. And so it was like, poor girl. I mean, she got this reputation of basically being like, a little bit pretentious and stuff like that. So I can imagine someone who wakes up and they're like, "Hey, I can speak. I'm speaking in this accent that I've never had before," and people are like, "Oh, you're putting it on. You're faking. You're trying to get attention." And it's like, no, my brain is working this way.
I'm really not. Really.
I'm really not.
No, seriously. I mean, I think I've told you about this story. That after my senior year, in between graduating and going into college, I went to two different band camps. And the second one was one that I've never been to before here in central Arkansas. And like 99% of the people I'd never met before because they weren't in my circle of places or schools that I went to. So they didn't know me. And so the entire week, from Sunday to Friday, I talked like this the entire week, except when I was in my room, because the guy I roomed with was from not too far away, so he already knew me, and he knew what my accent was like for my real voice. So I talked like this the entire time, all the way until the final concert. Like in the middle of it, I'm talking to them, and then I just slid back into my normal dialect and start talking normally, and they kind of like, what? It was so
Okay.
funny because it gave me a good chance to practice it because, of course, anybody can just talk in a they can do lines like "oh crikey," for
Yeah.
Australian, but if you've got to do the entire language, and that's the problem. That's the
Yeah.
difference between impressions and voices,
It's true. It's true.
and
And
it's a good practice.
the other
It's good
day on
practice.
Saturday, we were doing a stream for Well Played, which we'll talk about during the show. And we're playing
Yes.
Heroes of the Storm. It was me and Cuddles and a couple of other folks, and MacGyver joined us.
Aha!
And I don't know if you remember this. You probably do. When MacGyver was in BlizzCon, when he went to BlizzCon, and we were hanging out with him, he was trying really hard to teach me how to pronounce things with an Aussie accent.
That's right. I do remember that.
And so he was doing it again. And I don't know what it is about Aussie accents, but I have a block in my brain to be able to mimic it. Kalani remembers this, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so, I can't remember how to like. It's weird, and I don't know if it's because when I'm getting older. Like I used to make accents all the time when I was a kid, and now it's like it doesn't compute. But I think or I used to, if I were immersed in a place where there was like when I went to Africa, everyone spoke with a really heavy British accent.
Mm-hmm.
And I was starting to pick it up. Like you just start to hear it, you start to pick it up.
Oh
And I
yeah.
sound right now like I'm originally from New Jersey, and nobody can tell that because
Mm-hmm.
I sound like a Midwesterner.
Yeah, I like to think that my voice is fairly like evened out, and it's not very southern. But of course, Mrs. Crane, when I first
Oh,
talked
I
to her,
hear it.
within 5 minutes, she was like, "You're not from around here, are you?" She's like, "Where are you from?" I was like, "Arkansas." She's like, "Oh, okay." It's not like very thick,
No,
but
there's certain words that you say and certain ways
yeah,
that you say them that
like I'll drop the G off of ing words
sometimes,
sometimes. Sometimes.
or you'll say y'all.
Oh yeah.
You'll say
Yeah.
y'all.
Have to. Yeah.
And there is a little bit of an inflection in certain words. When you're
Hmm.
doing the podcast, it's not as strong. But when I'm just sitting there chatting with you, like if we're sitting across from each other just chatting, then it's there sometimes.
That's because I put on the radio voice. Welcome to Tauren Think Tank, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it is not Sunday. It is Thursday.
Do I need to go find the music again? Do you want to do the intro with the music again? It'll get cut off on Twitch though.
Oh yeah.
We can do it. We can do it at the end, where it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's funny. So I found I was looking in my old emails, and I found the Gul'dan at the drive-through, like the whole bit,
Yeah,
but
I've
it
got
doesn't have the after bit. The after, it's got the him going through the drive-through, but then it stops, and it doesn't have the part afterward
Hang
that
on.
I really wanted to hear,
The end of this?
where he's having some
Hey,
gastrointestinal.
Dan, what do you
Oh,
want to
yeah.
eat for dinner? I was thinking about getting that new fell burrito. I think I can eat 2 of them.
You're insane.
That one?
Yeah, but it's like the whole thing. where
Yeah,
he's
I
having
can see it.
trouble.
It's here. I just kind of
Yeah.
grabbed a certain point.
Yeah. That demon voice turned out pretty good. I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah, that's in there.
I like
Panic basket. Hi, Barber. So we should say hi to the chat room, folks. Bim, Sugar
Yeah.
Mama, Kalani, Zafira. Hi, guys. Barber. Hi.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
If you guys haven't seen my Twitter, I wound up posting a picture of before and now of what I look like from today's events. Moving the office was quite the interesting. It was quite the interesting. Here, I'll post it in the chat room for you guys to see if you haven't seen it. Because I had to move in the rain. There you go. I had to move in the rain and in the humidity, and it was not fun, and I looked like a drowned rat. So, and then I had to go fix my hair and my makeup so that I could be on the stream.
Blame it on the rain.
Yeah.
Ever since you said the rain, I was like, yeah.
Blame
It's been
it
stuck in my
on the
head.
Stars that shine at night. I love that song.
Yeah.
Thank you, Milli Vanilli.
Uh-huh. Or thank you, whoever sang for Milli Vanilli.
Yeah, thank you, people
Those other
who
people.
gave Milli Vanilli their voices.
Yeah. Girl, you know it's girl, you know it's girl, you. That was so funny
That was
because
terrible.
it was. I felt so bad for him, now that I'm older and I think about it, I was like, yeah, that really sucks.
That really did suck. Gosh.
It's like when Ashley Simpson had the same thing happen a few years back. It's like, that's why you try not to lip sync, and if you do, don't use things that can skip.
I know, Bim. That's how I felt when I got home today. I'll tell a little bit of that story. It's just that, oh my god, it's just so not fun.
Let's see here. I'm gonna write down a couple
Kalani,
things from the talk
Joss
about.
probably appreciates that you took a break from Brawlhalla.
Writing in some key notes for the last
Yes.
couple of weeks.
Yes.
Um,
Thank you, Zaf. That's sweet. It's it's an interesting time in my life, that's for sure. It's an interesting time.
Thank you all for coming on a Thursday. I know it's different, but I mean, as Jules reminded me a while back, the show has made several moves during the week, like all over the place.
Started on Wednesday, went to Saturday, went to Saturday, went to Sunday,
And now
and
to
now
Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for 4 years. There's got to be some changes in life, right?
Oh yeah.
I was thinking about that. I mean, I've thought about it a lot, but I was thinking about all the changes in my life, right? And I mean, it's just like I looked at what was going to happen for this year. 2016, Jules will have changed her residence twice, her state once, her marital status, her name, and her job. Like, it's just going to be like, yeah, that's a lot of changes.
Just like one or two.
Just a lot of changes.
So far, I've only changed the job. So it's
Yeah.
so far this year has only done that.
Yeah. It's been a really busy year.
Yeah, it really has.
Yeah, the marital status change is coming, finally. Very soon. July 15th, it looks like, is finally when it's going to be done.
Oh, okay.
So
Hadn't heard that yet, so
yeah,
that's good.
that
you
happened
gotta...
this week. So we'll see.
Good. All right.
We'll see. Hopefully that will stick. I think it's going to stick. We had the date and it had to change, so hopefully this will stick. And it's just going to be good. Be good stuff.
Yeah. Changes.
Yeah, I need like every song that goes with the word change or changes, right? All right, let's test our soundboard real quick.
Kilrog.
Of course.
I remember when we tested that and Jeff was like, "Whoa!"
Whoa!
It surprised him.
That was pretty funny. He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you can play sounds."
Yeah. Let's see. Gosh, I know we could just talk about the meetup a good bit because,
Oh, we're just gonna
Like,
talk about it a lot.
yeah, we are a little light in the mailbox, ladies and gents. So if there's anything you want to talk about, anything that's been on your mind, of course, we're going to say this during the show too, but anything that's been on your mind, any topics, any things you want us to discuss or things you want to throw out to the Moo Crew to get some feedback with, now is the time.
Yeah.
Because we are less than 2 months or about 2 months away from Legion, about a month and a half away from the pre-patch. So people are going to start coming back to the game. So that's usually when our mailbox starts to fill up more. So we are kind of in the leaner times, and we need y'all's help.
Yeah, this show is actually gonna be lean because we only had one question to use. So it's okay. We have so much to talk about stuff since the last time we were here that wasn't an interview. So yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't talk about much about we didn't want to talk about ourselves at all. We just want to talk to this really super awesome guy from ILM.
Nice, like nicest man ever. So
Yeah. He was, as you guys know if you've listened, he was really interesting to talk to. He was really great to talk to too.
yeah,
It was just, that was so cool. I just
it was
really
amazing.
appreciate that he did that for us.
All right, guys, I'm gonna give you a ready check and see if you guys are ready to pull. It's 8:11 already.
Yeah. Let me set up my
Oh, Bim, thank you.
thingy.
Thank you guys so much. That was really fun.
Thank
And
you.
That interview was amazing and so easy to interview.
Yeah, he really was. And I was so nervous because I haven't done a lot of interviews before. Like, other than just not a lot, but like we've done 3 or 4 like 3 or 4 different people on the show.
Yeah.
But I still consider myself a novice at this, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know what's going on. But it was a lot of fun.
It was. I've been doing a lot of studying about good interview techniques and things like that, which has been helpful. But he made it so easy. So he's just so passionate about everything he does, and so. All right, chat room is ready for a poll. Marconin, are you ready?
Just getting you lined up. One last little adjustment. Adjustment. Okay. I think I'm good to go now.
All right, then we're going to poll and do a show. And we'll do it now. In 3.
Now!
No! In 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the podcast about the Blizzard gamer behind the keyboard.
It is episode 192 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Thursday, June 23rd of 2016. It's 8:13 in the PM, and you said Thursday, Jules? Yes, I did. It's our new night, Thursday nights. We have moved our show, and we're trying it out on a Thursday. It's pretty cool. Again, hi, I'm Jules, and with me, as always, is the fresh out of Minnesota, and just... he's amazing. So good to see him the last couple weeks. It's Marconin.
Yeah, it was fantastic to get to see you again, Jules, and be up there with you guys. Like she said, fresh from Minnesota. I took the heat and humidity up there with me, and then I brought it back and then doubled down on the heat and humidity because it's been brutal down here.
Yeah, no kidding.
The last, heat indexes of hundreds of degrees. Well, 100 degrees. Ugh. And then some. Still, though, it's... it is brutal, and it's... I mean, I know it's June, but man, it's going to be so much worse in August down here.
Oh.
Because that's what it's the worst time is August.
August is the worst, yeah. Oh, gosh,
yeah. So, yeah, I missed the couple of days where it was really nice and pleasant up in Minnesota.
I know.
That was very nice to just kind of walk around a little bit, enjoy the time, especially enjoy the time with you and with Pat and everyone else that was there. Of course, we went to the Minnesota movie meetup for the Warcraft movie. Because I know you guys, our last episode was our interview with Jeff White.
Yep.
So we haven't had a chance to talk about it since we did the meetup and saw the movie. So, Jules, do you want to talk about that for a little bit? Because I'm still on a high from seeing that movie.
I know. I'm going to disclaim a couple things first.
Okay.
We are going to make this show pretty heavy on us about the stuff that's been going on with us because we haven't had the chance to talk about it. We also only have one question in the mailbox this week, and so it's going to be a little bit of a different structure of the show. We have the question and we've got everything else, but it's not going to be as heavy on the show content and a little bit more heavy on our content. So we just want to give you a disclaimer on that. If you wanted to skip to the show content, please do. But that's how we're going to do that. And also the PSA to say, we're kind of light in the mailbox. So please, if you've got your questions, send them our way because we could use them. We only had one to use this week. And we know it's summer and it's kind of crazy. Okay, done. Disclaimer done. So, okay. So
also maybe spoilers for the Warcraft movie.
Yes.
In our conversations. If you haven't seen it, go skip ahead a little bit and see where we're at. Go skip ahead, or mute your speakers. So we maybe not, but just to let you know. Which by now, why haven't you gone and seen it yet?
I know.
Go see it.
I didn't get any hate mail or anything that we had, discussions with Jeff White about that stuff and a quick side note again. Special thanks to Jeff for coming onto the show. You guys were so nice to us and kind with your feedback about the interview that we did. It was amazing for us. We got done and I was like Kermit flailing all over the place. Like I don't get nervous until after it happens. And I was just like bouncing off the walls going, oh my God, Marconin, oh my God, Marconin, oh my God, Marconin.
I know. I felt the same way. Like I got done and everybody else in the house really is asleep or getting ready for bed. I'm sitting there just, oh my goodness, it's so cool. Oh my gosh, you would not believe it. We talked about this and that and this, and he's so cool. It was crazy. It was crazy excited. So yeah, big thank you to Jeff White for joining us. Of course, he's special effects guy. He's been in the business for a while now.
Long time.
A lot of great movies a lot of great effects that for movies that I've seen, and I was like, oh wow, I love all of your work. When I checked his page, but so yeah, it was a lot. I'm still excited from that.
I know. still
You
excited for
can't
the
tell.
meetup and that.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah. Let's talk a little bit. So we'll talk about our weekend for the Minnesota meetup because there was so much that went on. And social media, we didn't get a chance to even close to document what actually was going on that whole weekend. So Marconin came in on Thursday to Minnesota.
I did. That was fun.
It was an early morning.
It was a very early morning. My flight left. Goodness, what, like 5:30 in the morning? Yeah, I got up at 3 that morning, and I went to bed at 12:30 because I was too excited and I procrastinated and needed to pack. So I need to finish packing anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm running on like no sleep, getting up there, can't sleep on the plane, and it was, it's air travel. Sometimes, I like air travel. I still haven't gotten like jaded to it or anything because all the inconveniences. Oh, gotta take my shoes off. Oh man, my belt. I can't. You're flying in the air.
Yeah, I know.
You're traveling at 600 miles an hour, 40,000 feet from the ground, in a metal tube.
Look, there are clouds right there.
You are above the clouds. This is amazing. Do you know how many humans have wanted to be up here? Like almost all of them.
Yeah.
Before like 1700 when they had balloons. So it's kind of like the holiday season for me. Working in retail for 6 or 7 years now has not jaded me to the retail season and to the holiday season, because I still find the joy in it, and I still find the joy in flight and in commercial air travel. So I despite my sleep deprivation, I still got some cool pictures of clouds and that kind of stuff. And I had the honor and the privilege to be picked up at the airport by Mr. Pat Crane himself.
Yes.
and we Jules and I were able to stay with the Cranes a couple of the nights.
Yeah, and because
we're
Jules
there.
was too tired and not.
Yes.
I would have had to have been there. I would have had to have left around 7:00 in the morning to get to the airport for you on time. And Pat was like, "I'll just pick him up." I'm like, "Thank you." So because I had a 4-hour drive from Madison to Minneapolis, and so by, the time I got there, it was like 2:00.
Yeah, but you got there just a little bit after, and we just kind of hung out with the Cranes for a while. It was really cool. I got to meet Darla.
Darla's amazing. That's their chocolate lab, and she is their baby.
She's very sweet.
Yeah. So then we had a little get together, barbecue and dinner with some friends. Eva, Lonnie, and May to Death came because they came in from Fargo, and then we had Jayonce who came in from Boston, and Josh and Kristen who came in from St. Louis. And so we were like, everybody was from everywhere. And so we were hanging out, drinking, having a good time. And it was fun. And then we got up in the morning and was like, okay, let's get ourselves up. Let's get some food. And we got to make it. So where the meetup was about 45 minutes away from where Pat lives. So we had to go to the other side of Minneapolis. In Chanhassen is where we were at. And then the movie theater was in a place called Shakopee. So we get to the hotel, and I had a room reserved for us, and then there was a room reserved for a meeting space. And it was 94 degrees Fahrenheit in Minnesota and humid. And their air conditioner was not keeping up with this at all.
Nope.
So our meeting space, we get in there, and it is stuffy in that room.
It was very, very stuffy.
Oh, I looked at them and I said, "Is your air conditioner working?" And they said, "Well, we don't know. We're kind of looking into it." And I'm like, "Oh, crud. We're going to cram like 40 or 50 nerds into this room, and it feels like a sauna in here." And so I got to tell you, though, the people who are local in the area and the people who are coming to visit are just some really fantastic folks.
Oh,
People
yeah.
were bringing fans. They went to Target and bought fans. Like, we had a lot of fans in that room.
Yeah, just to circulate the air on there and trying to help it out.
Because it was hot.
Whew, it was hot and stuffy. I would take breaks and go into the little breakfast area because it was a little cooler in there for a few minutes and kind of cool off and then go back in.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? Kudos to our crew, because in a stuffy room with a bunch of nerds in it, you would expect there might be a chance for funk. There was no funk.
No funk.
It was awesome. Thank you for showering.
Thank you for showering and deodorant. Thank you. Big props to deodorant, ladies and gentlemen. This weekend, thank you.
Thank you.
Slash moo to deodorant
Slash
and those who use it.
So we had a really good time. We actually we had said that we were going to go over to the local casino, Mystic Lake Casino, and so we did go over there. It was Marconin and me and Pat and a couple of other folks, and it turned out that nobody went except for us.
Yeah.
So we wound up eating at their buffet, and then we went right back to the meetup, and they did. I have to give a shout out to Evilani and Mage Death because they put together a fireside gathering for Hearthstone. They did a tournament. And we had prizes that we had gotten from places like Jinx and Green Man Gaming, and Blizzard themselves sent us some stuff, really cool stuff. So we were able to give prizes away for the Hearthstone tournament, which was great. And the next day was Saturday, and that was the actual movie. Now, here's the big thing and the stupid thing that I thought would be an amazingly cool idea. Well Played is putting on this Minnesota meetup. We're having a great time. We're doing all this cool stuff. And we talked about this as a committee, and we said, wouldn't it be a great idea if we launched the Kickstarter for BlizzCon on the weekend of the Minnesota meetup? And everybody went, yeah. And I went, yeah. And then I realized how much work it was going to take for me to try to do 2 meetups. Like planning 2 meetups at the same time. So in the morning, I'm like, Marconin and I roomed together to save money at the hotel. And I said to him in the morning, I'm like, can I get on your computer, please? So he gives me the password to get into his computer and falls back asleep.
I was out like a light.
He gave me his password. His alarm goes off, and I said, can you give me your password to get in the computer? He gives it to me. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm working on the final changes. I've been getting changes being sent to me from all these people, and I'm working. He's snoring, and I'm just like, this was such a dumb idea. Why am I doing this?
I didn't intend to fall back asleep. It was one of those things where it just happened. Because that's why I set my alarm, was to wake up, and then I gave her the password, and then I rolled over to get out of the bed and check my phone, and then it was an hour and a half later. I blinked and it was 8:30, and I'm like, crap, I gotta get up.
I had already showered, I had already done this stuff, and I was just laughing. So, but I'm sitting there working, and got it done, got it posted, and I'm like, okay, great, we've got this ready. We'll announce it at the meetup. So we get all of our stuff packed up. We got all these prizes that we got to give away, and we take everything out to the theater. And we get to the theater, and the manager is there, and they had reserved gotten us tickets. We had a theater that was supposed to be all of ours, and we get in there, and it's hot in there too. I walk in there, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And I said to the manager, I'm like, is your air conditioner working? And he goes, I think so. And so he turned, he's hitting it, Marco. He's hitting
Oh, he was? I didn't know that.
Uh-huh. And so
smacking the AC.
He's smacking the AC, and I'm like, oh no.
Oh no.
Seriously, we're gonna do this again. And so I'm running like an insane person, trying to make sure that I've got the people checking in with the tickets, and then we're trying to get the theater set up, and we're trying to get all the prizes in there. And the manager finds me. He goes, you know what? I'm going to move you to another theater because that air conditioner works in that theater. And I'm like, okay. So they move us to the next theater. And now I'm trying to run back up front.
To tell everybody?
To tell everybody, guys, it's not theater 5, it's theater 6. And then there's people that are like, what's going on? Oh my God.
Yeah, I went in there a couple of times, and there was a dozen people. It's like, we're in theater 6, folks, sorry.
Yeah.
And pointing people.
You guys were amazing because you actually redirected people. And I literally needed to clone myself because I could not be in that many places at one time.
Yeah.
And so, we had all these prizes. We told the manager that we were going to be giving out prizes and then they could start the movie. And so we get in there, and with the chaos of everything, I had forgotten to give the people at the table, Evilani and Mage Death, the check-in people, the raffle tickets to give to the people as they were coming in. And so Pat comes running up to me and he goes, we forgot the raffle tickets. And I just went, oh, shit.
I remember that.
Oh, God. And I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna run over time. Like, what are we gonna do? So, like, it was me and Marconin and a bunch of other people, and Marconin's trying to take pictures for me as well, right? So he's trying to document things as we're going to give out these prizes. And I had like 3 people who were just running up and down the aisles to give these raffle tickets so we could draw for prizes. So, long story short, we give away the prizes. Marconin takes the pictures. We get the drawings done. Pat hands me the microphone, and I announced the Kickstarter for the BlizzCon party, and it was like silence. And I'm like, oh my God, why did I do this? Like, why did I do this now? I thought it was gonna go over a whole lot better than it actually did, and it was just kind of like, no, guys, we just want to see the movie, and it was just so. Yeah, it was not my most like pride moment of like, I thought it was going to be all this glorious thing, and it was like wah wah. So we get into our seats and we sit down we'd reserved some seats for us because we were running around like crazy. I was sweating so bad, and I had no water. And I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to sit through this entire movie, and I'm sweaty and thirsty, and I'm gonna hate this movie because I can't see anything because I'm just sweaty and thirsty. But I made it through. It was fine.
Yeah, we eventually cooled off because running up and down those stairs.
Oh my God.
Back and forth and back and forth.
Throwing things out to the audience, like I don't let me throw anything anymore. Like, really, just don't, because it's really bad if I throw stuff. And so the movie was great. And then after we got done with that, what did we do?
We went to the amusement park.
And how hot was it?
It was 94 degrees.
And it was really humid.
It was really humid and hot.
We were so stupid.
Yeah.
We went to the amusement park at 2:00 in the afternoon. God.
Yeah, during the hottest part of the day.
It's so stupid.
Just like,
So tell the story about Valley Fair.
Well, so yeah, Valley Fair, amusement park that we went to. It's actually first time I've been there. It's actually really neat. They had a lot of nice coasters. They had a water park in there. It was really neat. We did we actually, one of the first things we did is we went on what was it called? The Corkscrew? Was that the roller coaster we went on first?
Yeah, that was the only one I went on, because it was like this really short, but like upside down, twisty upside downs. Like, oh, that hurt, man.
Yeah, and Pat and I, we got her on there. So the 3 of us got on there, and we did it, and it was kind of cool. And on one of the loops, I noticed a little bit of pain in like the back left of my neck.
Yeah,
like a little bit, and I just kind of like, okay, I just need to loosen up. I'm getting too tense on the roller coaster.
So
I loosened up, and it's fine.
Screaming my head off, right?
Yeah, well, we both were. It was just crazy. So yeah, we did that, and it was it was fun. It was great. Usually I'm nervous about roller coasters until I get on the first one, and then I kind of get over. I'm like, okay, yeah, this will be fine. We'll be cool. We'll be all right. And so we're walking around, we're seeing a few people here and there, and just kind of taking it all in. And they have one of these like log plume rides where they bring the log cart thing that people are in down, and it goes down, and boom, this huge wall of water that it kicks up. It soaks everyone in the ride, and then they have this walkway that goes over the little exit way of the stream. So
there's a bridge over it.
A bridge, yeah. So if you're standing on the bridge, when the log thing hits, you're wet. You're like completely drenched because it's this huge tidal wave that hits you.
It's a wall of water that just goes.
Really is.
So it's like people stand on there just to get soaked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it actually sprays onto the ground, and it's funny because you can see the line, or you can see where it's wet on the concrete and where it's dry. And so if you stand kind of close to the border, you'll get a nice little spritz of cold water. So that was pleasant.
Yeah, it was good. We got a little mist.
A little bit of mist action, a little cool off. And so we're walking around there, kind of taking the entire park, and we're starting to walk back. And Pat starts talking about going on this other ride called the Renegade. It's a wooden coaster.
Uh-huh.
And I hadn't ridden a wooden roller coaster since there's a place it used to be in Memphis called Liberty Land. Mm-hmm. And there was a ride called the Zippin' Pippin. It was actually Elvis's favorite roller coaster.
Oh, really?
You know, he grew up near Memphis and lived there. So they kept it, you know, and they maintained it. And it was really nice. And it was, you know, it's kind of cool because the thing with wood is the wood gives a little bit. So it kind of, the whole thing moves back and forth and has a little give when you're riding on it. So it feels more dangerous. And it's a little more herky-jerky, too.
Yeah, bumpy,
so,
isn't it? Like bumpy.
It's
ride.
very bumpy. Yeah, it's a very bumpy ride. Not as smooth as those newer ones are, the steel. So I was like, you know what? I haven't been on one in years, like years and years since high school. So yeah, I'll go. And so Pat and I get in the line, and we weren't in the line very long, maybe 15 minutes or so, and we get in there. Get in the ride, and we're going up, and we go to the first rise, and you know, as before we're going in there, I can kind of see the ride, and then we're going up the first, you know, hill, and then I realized there's another whole ride of it behind everything, like it's twice as long as I thought.
Yeah.
And I just remember like saying something, oh, I didn't know all this was back here, and then we keep going up, and keep going up. I could see the whole park.
Yes.
I did not know this was going to be like this. And then it crests the first hill, and we go down, and then hooks to the right real quick. And in that moment, my neck hated me. Like it lit up like a fire. Like it was lots and lots of pain.
Did it seize? Like it just completely seized up?
Yes, it locked up on me, especially on the left side, exactly where it hurt on the first ride. And so the entire rest of the ride, I am gritting my teeth, and it's just jerking my neck around even more. And I can't relax because my muscles have tensed up, and they've just really, they're not letting go. And it's just back and forth. And I get done, like the whole time I'm just gritting my teeth, and we get done. And I was like, I hurt my neck. I hurt my neck very badly.
Yeah.
And as we're getting off the ride, I can't move my neck.
Yeah.
Like I got it straight forward, but as I described it, I think maybe to Jules, like if I have to talk to somebody, I have to do like Michael Keaton in Batman. It just turned my whole body to face somebody. Because you know, back then, the cowl was connected to the rest of his suit, and he had to like do a full body turn to turn and look at somebody. And so that's how I felt. Like I couldn't, like if I turned my neck to the right at all, the muscles on the left side of my neck would jump, and it would jerk my head back around, like somebody grabbed my head and yanked it back to the center. And so any point left, right, up, down, tilt, anything from straight ahead just hurt. And it's still hurting a little bit, and that's been almost 2 weeks.
Did you go to the chiropractor?
I'm going next Wednesday.
Okay, so you haven't been yet.
Yeah, not yet. Okay. And it's been getting better, thankfully. Mm-hmm. I can move my head around. You can maybe lose some of my voice there, but yeah, I can move my head and stuff, but I've still got a little bit of pain whenever I kind of go way too far to the right or the left.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the rest of the weekend, it was rough.
He was a trooper, though. Like, he didn't go on any more of the roller coaster rides, of course. No. But, you know, just he was a trooper the whole weekend, because it was, I mean, we were busy still, and we had, you know, after the meetup, and then on Sunday, we went and we hung out, and we kind of rested a lot. We went to go see the Warcraft movie again, actually. Mm-hmm. Both of us did. But I have to say, you know, despite the issue that you had with wrenching your neck, we had so much fun.
We really did. It was a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
Seeing everybody, meeting new people that I hadn't met before. Like there were 2 or 3 times that I'm just talking to somebody and like, I know your voice. And they like looked at my lanyard and like, I thought that was you. You know, I was like, yay, that's cool. Yeah. You know, get to talk to more people, meet a lot of new people, see a lot of the great sites. I got to see I get to drive by the corporate headquarters or ride by the corporate headquarters of my company.
Yep.
And I was like, hey, there's those buildings I've seen on promotional materials.
Yep.
Click, click, click.
You got to see Mall of America?
I did. I haven't talked about that yet. But yeah, I got to see the Mississippi River because I grew up not too far from the Mississippi River. To see it like way far up there is kind of cool too.
Yeah.
But yeah, on Monday, my plane didn't leave till like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And so I was like, well, I need to do something. And Jules like, I was like, well, Jules, you can just drop me off at the airport. I don't mind sitting around. I had my laptop so I could play WoW in the terminal or whatever. But one thing that I kind of wanted to see, like it wasn't do or die, but I kind of wanted to go by the Mall of America.
Yeah.
Also to show you how not maybe old I am, but how kind of, I guess, old I am. I really wanted to go by the theater that they traditionally record A Prairie Home Companion for NPR at.
Yes.
So before we went to go see the movie on Sunday, Pat drove us around like a little sightseeing tour of St. Paul.
Yeah, we got
and
to
that's
see
where
it.
they do it. So we got to go by there and take some pictures, and that was cool. So yeah, we decided to save the Mall of America so Jules would drop me off because there's a tram service that goes from, I guess it's part of the whole Minneapolis.
It's the light rail system.
Light
Yeah.
rail. Okay, yeah, and it goes like it's like one or two stops away
Yep.
from between the mall and the airport. So she dropped me off at the mall. I went in there. They had lockers where I could store my luggage and everything, and I proceeded to walk every floor all around. I walked the entire distance of the mall because I was there for maybe 3 or 4 hours. Just walking around,
Yeah.
bought some souvenirs, ate at Bubba Gump Shrimp Company.
Nice.
I was like, I got to eat something. And I had to eat something. Of course, you got to eat. But I wanted to eat something that I didn't have around here.
Yeah.
The closest Bubba Gump's is, I think, in New Orleans or maybe Texas somewhere. And so I was like, I haven't eaten there since really early college. So went there, saw of course, I didn't go on those rides in the center. So I stayed away from those. It was really cool, though. Took a lot of pictures of the inside.
Yeah.
And, just took care of it. And after that, I went to the airport and headed back home. There was some delays in St. Louis, and I didn't make it back home till like 12:30 in the morning.
Oh, such a long
And
day
then I had to get up at 5 to go to work. So that was rough.
This poor thing. But you know what? It was a fantastic weekend. And
It really was. Despite the neck pain and all of that, all the other mess, it was really, really awesome.
Yeah.
And I got to say, they did really good with the movie.
Yes.
Duncan had a hard road ahead, to incorporate so much complexity, because Warcraft is nothing but a very, it's nothing if it's not a complex lore story. It is so complex. There's so many angles, and to both appease us fans as well as, like if I brought my mom, which I will, because I'm going to go see it again with her at some point. I've seen it 3 times now. So I don't hate it.
Yeah, no kidding. And so Atasia in the chat room is asking us from 1 to 10, how would you rate the movie? 1 bad, 10 to 10 awesome. I would give it a 7.5.
Yeah, I was going to say an 8.
Yeah.
So yeah, right about there.
Yep.
Of course,
it
had
had
its
some moments.
Yeah.
The whole Garona storyline. There was a couple things, and she had moments where it was just like, your dialogue sucks. Like, it was really bad.
Yeah, there were a couple of dialogue decisions I wouldn't quite have gone that way with. I would have phrased things a little bit better.
Yeah, but the imagery and the epicness of it, and the fight scenes, and the magic, and all of it was just like, I just wanted more. Like, I just wanted to eat up more of it. I wanted it to keep going. So that's why 7.5. There were some really clunky moments, but for the most part, like, I loved Khadgar. I thought he was amazing.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was so much fun. It's like the whole thing of the Duratan and his storyline with Draka, and seeing Thrall's birth, and the we talked about this with the interview with Jeff White, just the interactions with them. Oh God, I just loved that so much. And so yeah, it was amazing. Seeing it twice helped for me, because I am not a lore person at all. So the storylines, I needed explanation. I didn't know what I was talking about. for the most part. I knew Duratan and Drakar were Thrall's parents.
Yeah.
And I knew King Lane was the father of what's his name?
Varian.
Rin. So I always kept saying Anduin in my head. No, that's his dad.
Our king?
Our king?
Our king, who's been our king for a while, Jules?
Yeah,
You don't know who our king is?
I told you I'm not a lorehound. So yeah. So that's our weekend.
Yeah.
And goodness. Okay, so now we need to talk about what else has been going on with the crazy. I'll try to keep it brief because we've been going really long. But here's the bottom line. I am going to be finishing my job. Tomorrow is my last day at my job. But they have asked me to stay on remotely for about 5 to 10 hours a week if I can, to do some work that I can do remotely, and they're paying me a nice wage to do it. So I'm like, yeah, I'll take the extra. I'll take the extra money on top of it. I just have to work on my off time or on my weekends to do that stuff. It's not a huge deal. I do it anyway. I work a lot of hours every week. But the problem is been trying to schedule my move, right? And so I have had my apartment up for sublet since May 18th, I want to say. And I've shown it. It's been shown by the property managers. I've gotten on Craigslist and I've shown it. Nothing. And this weekend, finally, I get an application, or the property manager calls me and says that they got an application. And I'm like, oh my God, finally. And they say, well, they want to be in on July 1st. And I went, that's next Friday. Oh my God. So what? And so it's like, this happened on Saturday, and I get to Monday and there's no call. And by Tuesday, I'm like, what's going on? Call the property manager and they say, well, there's some issues with their application and they don't have the right financials. And so I know that you've been showing it off of Craigslist. If you've got more people who are interested, you might want to keep showing the apartment. And I'm like, oh, great. Well, I had 3 people who had emailed me over the weekend and wanted to see it. So I hit them all up and said, hey, do you still want to see it? On Tuesday, 2 of them come back and say, yeah, I want to see it tonight. So I run home from work, clean the place up, one at 6, one at 7, and both of them put in an application.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So
I didn't know that both of them did. That's awesome.
They both did. So now I'm like, oh God. So now I'm going to tell the office that they've got these things in here. So I've called the office. I called the office in the morning. The person isn't there yet. Call her again. She's still not there yet. Leave a message. And I called her 3 times and I finally got her. And long story short, it's possible the first application may be accepted tomorrow. I don't know. The other one may be accepted tomorrow. I don't know. And so I have to wait until tomorrow morning to find out if I have to be out of here next week. So like just starting. I mean, to talk about not trying to panic. Yeah. So
yeah.
Because honestly, my biggest concern at this point are my 2 kitties. Because they are just not good in the car, and it's a 4-hour drive. So with the moving and movers being here and everything like that, and then moving them in the car and having them be stressed out, and then we get them on the other end and the movers are there again, and I'm like, oh God, I can't do this to them. And so I'm actually considering, if I'm moving next week, we might not have a show because I don't know what the hell's going to go on. I'm actually thinking about driving them up first and then moving them in, driving home, and then getting the movers together and driving back for the last time, because it is such a chaotic thing and I just want them to be okay. Like the 2 of them right now are just completely crashed out on the floor. Like that's how I want them to be, and they will be puking and pooping and peeing in the carrier, and I'm like, oh God. It's a terrible thing to think about. I don't want to do this to them. So, but it's just one more time and then they'll be settled. So, to say that my life is chaos, it's chaos.
Yes.
It's chaos. So, and today we moved the office of my current employer too. And my last day is tomorrow. So we've been moving an entire office into a new space. I don't even know which end is up anymore, guys. Like, I just don't know. So
It's just constant. It's
it
just
is a
something like
constant
5
crazy.
different things constantly going on with you right now.
Yes. So with that, let's talk about one more thing, and that's the Well Played Kickstarter for BlizzCon. I am super, super excited that we have announced this, and we are 65% away, or 65 of the way to our goal, I should say. And we need your help, guys, because if you want us to have a party at BlizzCon like we've had it every other year for the past 4 years, we need your help to help it get it funded on Kickstarter. And you can go check it out at tinyurl.com/wellplayed2016. Marconin is going to be donating his time not only for ringtones, as he's done in the past, he is also going to be doing a stream to show how he makes these ringtones on Wednesday of next week.
That's right, and that's on the 29th.
The 29th.
It's going to be about, I think, 7 p.m. Central, so that's 5 p.m. Pacific.
Yep.
And 8 p.m. Eastern. I am going to take suggestions and comments from the audience in the chat room and maybe do a little bit of custom tweaking so that you guys can have a little bit of a hand in it.
Yes.
So that's definitely something you can do, and I would love to have you guys there. And I will take that ringtone and put it into the tier. It'll be an extra one in the tier. So if you do donate, there's lots of tiers, and you can actually do it as an add-on. So if you do a donation and you're like, okay, I want to add on the ringtones, just check it and increase your donation by that much.
Yeah, there's
like
instructions in there.
I've pledged the first day it was open. I pledged, and I've got my money in there because I definitely want this to happen, even if I wasn't going, because we're gonna have some live streams and you can be a part and be in on the action, and just be there. It's almost like you're there.
Yeah.
And also, the last day to donate is what, July 11th?
July 11th
is that the
our last day.
Yeah. July 11th. That's the last day. Just a couple of weeks left. So go ahead and do any kind of planning you need to, or think about it. Just take a look at the different tiers, see what you might want. We have a lot of goodies, a lot of cool T-shirts. We have not only my ringtones, but also a lot of the badge babes have gone in. I know we have some of them are sold out, but we do have a couple of new ones.
Yes, we do. There. We have a couple new ones. We have some folks that are doing Twitter banners. Our friend Whammo, who did our overlay for Tauren Think Tank, is doing banners for Twitter, or Facebook. Sarandia is in there. She's amazing. She's doing Twitter banners as well. So there's a lot of things to be offered. And honestly, even if you just have $1 to toss our direction, everything helps us to make this party happen. So, but of course, we're offering lots of cool rewards if you want to get them. Again, it's tinyurl.com/wellplayed2016. Help us make our BlizzCon party happen again. And you have a couple more weeks to make it happen. We'd love to hit some stretch goals as well, because we have some really cool ideas, but our goal is just to have the party at the basic level, because prices go up, man.
They do.
Ugh.
If you've tried to get get your hotel at the Hilton this year, you will know it's gone up.
Yes.
A considerable amount.
It's pretty icky. So, your video got really crunchy again, by the way.
Oh, it did? Is it still crunchy?
A little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit.
Okay.
Let's see if there's any.
I don't know why.
It's kind of coming back a little bit.
Okay. Maybe it's just a little hiccup.
Maybe a little hiccup. So I'll read the question and see how you're doing after I get done with the question.
All right.
Hey, guys, let's do a show with all the stuff that we had to share with you guys. There's so much, and we've been at it for a while, but we're actually going to be doing our show. It's our one question of the night, and it is our discussion topic and our think tank. So I'll just play a think tank bumper.
Tauren between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
It is our question of the week. We have only one letter this week. Again, if you have thoughts or things that you want us to pass our direction, please do at questions@torrenthinktank.com, because our mailbox is kind of light. So we begin, and this is a long letter. I apologize, but there's a lot of backstory. So here we go. Dear sincerest Caffers, it's a nice way to put it. I live in a constant state of exhaustion due to insomnia, all three forms, pre, mid, and post, and a very rare form of sleep apnea that doctors only presume to understand but can't seem to find a solution. I have walked a razor's edge for most of my life, leaving my feet scarred and sore from both the physical and emotional burdens of both my past and my present blunders. I have 2 separate seasons where I've listened to Triple T. Honestly, I don't know why I stopped the first time. In each season, Triple T and WoW were a part of my distraction and healing. I know we can't /moo you guys, but the perspective and direction you each have provided for myself and the countless listeners is unparalleled. In this season of my life, I am struggling to put all of the elements in my life in the right order so that I can take my best step forward. I am a husband of 1 and a father of 4. I want my wife to be proud of me and my kids to aspire to do great things. I'm concerned that on my current trajectory, my kids won't know how to overcome their circumstances so they can follow their heart due to my own struggles. I simply want them to be courageous and true to their own hearts, to be awesome. As I have grown older, my sleep has gotten worse due to some rather debilitating symptoms in addition to exhaustion. Over the last number of years, I began to develop chronic urticaria, otherwise known as hives. These affect mostly my hands and feet, a handful of times my face, tongue, throat, and unmentionable parts. Mine in particular are specifically referred to as marble hives or cluster hives. Several appear in one area. I basically lost almost 5 years of my life because the drugs I was prescribed kept me bedridden. I have learned over-the-counter non-drowsy version that the over-the-counter non-drowsy version, although not perfect, gives me much a better quality of life. Having no other recourse, my doctor sent me to a psychologist. Sadly, it took almost a year for my first appointment, and the doctor I was assigned to was a geriatric psychologist. Nope, not that old. I was granted 3 appointments over 6 months, prescribed drugs I can't use due to various side effects. This part you will love, Jules. My diagnosis, positive anxiety. Yep, I am apparently too happy and don't have the cognitive tools to settle down. So my sleep issues are because I am always excited about something. Doctor had never seen or met anyone like me. Like this letter, I was brutally honest about everything in my life. I held nothing back. I wanted to get to the root and find a solution. My doctor tells me to not be so happy. My question is, how do I build processes into my life so that I can maintain better forward momentum? How do I determine the importance of so many different elements that need to be completed in order to be successful? I'm sorry for the length of this. There's still so much going on. In the end, I am so stuck. I don't want to screw up this next step. I need to work so the insanity can stop. I need this to work so the insanity can stop. You have brought me to tears too many times in the sharing of your story. If the lottery was an option, I would gladly sweep it all the way for both you and Marconin. Eyes up, keep moving, and please don't stop sharing. I and so many others need you both in our lives. From Torrance. 20 says, I missed what the medication was. I don't think he mentioned what the medication was in his letter. I don't think it really matters the specifics, but that there's a lot of medical stuff going on here and a lot of emotional stuff. So the basic question behind this letter is, how do I build processes into my life that I can better maintain forward momentum? How do I determine the importance of so many different elements that need to be completed in order to be successful? Whew.
Man. Well, thank you for the kind things you said about us as well.
Before you start going forward, try turning your video off.
Okay.
Okay, let's see how that does for your audio.
Okay. Any better yet?
It has to catch up for a second, but...
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's better.
Okay.
We're just going to go without your video for a little bit. It was still crunchy after I read that whole letter.
Okay. Well, I made sure there was nothing else extra going on, so I have no idea what's going on. Okay. Well, but yeah, thank you for the kind things you said. Mm-hmm. And glad to have you listening. I'm thinking maybe...
Go ahead. Oh, go ahead. I'll mention it later.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like, I know you've got a lot going on and a lot of kind of, how do you build processes into your life so you can maintain better forward momentum? I think being aware of what all of the things that you want to get done, all of your goals, all of the things you want to improve, and the things you want to get accomplished, you got to write them down, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And because, I mean, you don't, I am guilty a lot of times of getting overwhelmed. And the reason why I do that is because I don't write things down a lot. I keep a mental note, and I'm usually pretty good about keeping track of all the things that I need to get done. But there are times when I just get in way over my head and I don't know what to do, so I have to stop and write them down, and just to be aware of what exactly needs to get done, and then I can prioritize.
Let me ask
Then
you a
I
question
can-
about that. So I wonder if so when you write things down, do you feel like you've given yourself the ability to check them off, or that you have seen them in a physical manifest format?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
I like the it sounds funny, but when I like the idea of checking it off, because when I worked overnights, we would move entire sections of the store around, and whenever we got done, we would fill in that little part of the map. We'd like check it off or fill it, bubble it in, saying I finished that, and that brought me the most joy of working those overnights, was seeing the accomplishment, seeing the progress, and so I think it's something similar. Is that not only I give up a bit of my stress when I write it down, because I don't have to work to remember it. I don't have to keep track of everything so much now that I've got it there physically.
So you've actually removed it from the checklist in your brain, because if you put it on paper, then you've relieved the burden of having to remember it.
Yes,
Okay.
that's another reason why I do that.
Okay.
Is to keeping track of that much stuff. It stresses me out.
Okay.
Sometimes when I have a lot of responsibility, it stresses me out, because I try to keep track of too many things in my head. And it helps in both of those regards, both in checking it off, the satisfaction of that, and also giving away a bit of that stress, because I don't have to fight to remember it,
Yeah.
or struggle to remember it.
And he's actually asking, how do you determine the importance of so many different elements that need to be completed? And I think that part of that is sometimes you don't know until you
Yeah.
start.
Yeah.
When you start moving forward in a process, and I've known people who are like this. I know that there are people who will look at a task and see that it's got so many parts that they actually freeze up and say, I can't do this because I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
So let's use an example of, like, let's say your kitchen table is where you dump all your stuff. Like, it's like where you just dump stuff. And over
Yeah.
time, the kitchen table starts to get covered so that you cannot see anything of the table, because all of your stuff of all kinds, bills, groceries, you went shopping and you dumped a bag there, your lunch bag, receipts, everything. Like, you've dumped all this stuff on the table, and now you can't see the table anymore.
Yeah.
So, and then you decide you got to clean this table because somebody's coming over and you're supposed to have dinner here, and there's nobody to be able to sit here. And then you look at the table and you go, oh my God, I don't even know where to start. Where do you start?
Pick a corner, pick a side. Like, I'll start with this side and just work your way down. It's like filling a progress bar.
Yeah.
You just start with one side. How do you get? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Just grab one thing, put it where it needs to go. Grab another thing, or actually, like 2020 site in the chat said, make piles of things.
Sure.
Or of items. So, like, this is trash stuff. This is stuff that needs to go to the bedroom. This is stuff that needs to go to the living room. This is stuff that needs to go in the cupboard, or the closet. Kind of sparse it up that way too. That can be a great way to do it.
You know what happens to me when I do that is let's say we're using the kitchen table as an example. I will start one place and I'll say, okay, this needs to go in the bedroom, and I will take it into the bedroom, and then I will see something in the bedroom that I need to address, that I need to clean or organize, and now I'm working in the bedroom. And now I'm like, oh crap, okay, I've got to go back to the table. So I go back to the table, and then now it takes me into the kitchen, and I'm like, oh, this, and I got to do this, and I got to do this. So I am like ADD when it comes to cleaning, because I am all over the place. But I find that it actually centers me, because it's making me move.
Yeah.
it's making me move around, and and then I go back to where I started, and then I say, oh yeah, I was supposed to do this and this and this, and then I go off to do that, and then I realize that I was supposed to go, but it sounds chaotic, but it's how I work. Now, some people go and they make piles and they say, I'm going to tackle this tile first and I'm going to tackle this tile next. My point is, Torrance, that everybody's style is different.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody has their own perspective on how they feel like things are. Like, don't ask me to make a list, Marconin, ever, because it sucks. I don't do it. And if somebody tells me to make a list, I make it and then I never go back to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for me. And some people are like, oh my God, I can't live without my lists and checking them off because it's such a wonderful sense of accomplishment. And so I look at that and I say, that's awesome for you. It does not work for me. It's just me wasting my time writing a list when I've got it all in my head and I've got it all, and then I'll go where it flows and goes where it takes me. And I sometimes enjoy the ride of where I'm going to because I followed the list item in my head and then went, oh yeah, I was supposed to do that. I mean, it gets me in trouble. Sometimes I forget stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that I want to first stress to Torrance, is that everybody is different in how they determine importance of what they want to do with their lives. But I think the point is the same in one respect, and that is just do something.
Yeah. Every journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. So just making that first step is sometimes the hardest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So however it works for you it's kind of the way to, whether it's making a list or just finding the first problem you see and addressing it.
Yeah. And so Torrance had also mentioned that he was interested in doing some life coaching with me, and I need to reach out to him once my chaos has ended and do that. And as a life coach, what I would do is I would sit down with you and I would talk to you about what it is that you want to accomplish. Forgive me for getting a little existentialism again.
That's
I
all right.
Sometimes do this, but I had a really awesome conversation this week via text with Holiday Bean, Dr. Holiday Bean.
Oh, yeah.
Married to our friend and frequent guest, Tony Bean, Dr. Tony Bean. And she was talking to me about the stuff that's going on in her life. One of the awesome things that's also going on with her is that they are having a baby.
What?
They're pregnant.
Oh, goodness.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes, it was just announced on Facebook, which is why I could say it, because it's actually
Oh,
on Facebook.
wow.
So,
All right. Facebook
but
official.
she told me that she declared her intentions to the universe in February. She said, Jules, I just said, these are the things that I want. And she listed off 3 major things, one of them being a baby. And, the other 2 I won't share because that's their news to share, not mine.
Sure.
And she said, I have manifested all 3 of them myself. And
awesome.
I declared that this was what I wanted to do. I said them out loud, and I said I was going to do this, and now it is happening. And so I do believe in the strength of that, only because it declares to you and to the world, even if it's just to your walls, that these are the things that you want to accomplish. And I am living right now in a world where I declared my intentions of what I wanted. I wanted to do this for a living. I wanted to be able to work in the stuff that I do with podcasting and event management and all the things that we do as a community leader. And I got it. And it happened. And I'm going to be moving to Minneapolis to make it happen. And I have to say, it is because I said, I'm going to do this. I want to do this. This is my dream. I want this to happen. And it happened. And so, but it doesn't come with just, it's like the heavens don't open and things just happen for you. You have to do stuff. And you have to work towards what you want, and you have to declare what you say. So how do you build processes that can better maintain forward momentum? You have to decide what you want.
Yeah. You have to determine what you want, and you have to, if you have to, declare it, because when you hear it out loud, it's positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of because I have goals and dreams and stuff in my life, but I don't really make them vocal just because they're in my head. I know them. But being serious with yourself and say, like looking yourself in the mirror and said, hey, you want this. Get off your butt and do it.
Yeah.
Get out of the house, go down the street to that thing that you want to do and do it. If it's, I want to learn how to dance, we'll call the nearest dancing academy or take lessons. You want to learn how to read music, take lessons. Go talk to somebody, do all these things, and just do it.
Yeah. And he declared in his email that he wants his children to be courageous and true to their own heart, to be awesome, and that he wants them to follow their own heart.
Yeah.
And he's afraid that his struggles are going to prevent them from doing that. So how do you manifest that in your children? You have to show them. You have to prove by example.
Yeah, you have to lead by example. You have to show that, in spite of all the troubles and the difficulties that you have in your life, there still shines something in there. You've still got your courage. You've still got your spirit and the drive to accomplish things, no matter what difficulties you have. Because life is going to throw you some serious crap. It will. For everybody, here or there, something's going to put a huge left turn or a roadblock in front of you, and you got to find a way to go around it. You got to find a way to achieve, and get around it and be better on the other side for it.
Yeah.
No matter what life-changing thing happens, no matter what things you've gotten in your life, adapt and survive and strive and achieve past it. And, there's things like my dad has been going through tough times too.
Yeah.
He lost his job pretty much like 3 or 4 days after I got told I was getting let go a couple months ago. And he's still trying, and this is a man who has a master's in engineering. Mm-hmm. And he knows he's a very, very smart man. He's smart and talented, and I look up to him. And well, he was in a car accident back in the 90s. He was in a coma for a week. Mm-hmm. And it really affected him. And it affected him in some ways, like learning and being able to adapt. But even after that, he went and got his master's. He did that afterwards.
Wow.
He did that when I was in college. In fact, I saw him a couple of times because we were in the same college. Saw him walking into the engineering building and the science building. I'm like, hey, Dad, And so he's working, and he's got tons of things going on, trying to get better and to better himself, despite all of his difficulties. And I can see that. Mm-hmm. And I look up to him for that. And I know your children, if they see that in you, they will look up to you.
Yeah.
And it's also talking to them. I don't know how old they are, but
he's got 4 kids too.
He's got 4 kids. So instilling that sense of being true to yourself and perseverance, that's something that not only do you lead by it, but you also tell them.
Yeah.
You listen to them and see what they want and encourage who they are. Being that encouragement, that driving them to do what they want to do. Because my parents and my family were and still are behind me 200% on whatever I want to do. They were in music. They were at every concert. They were at every football game. They were at almost every single concert in college, which was an hour drive, sometimes 2 or 3 hours away, depending on where my dad lived. If they could physically be there, they would. They never made an excuse that they couldn't. And if they couldn't, it was for a serious reason.
Right.
And I understand. I was in like 7 or 8 different ensembles in college, and we had a concert, 2 or 3 concerts a year for every single one of them. So, I mean, that's a lot of dates for them to drive and take their entire evening off to go see that. And that was a huge encouragement to me. And so not only do you show it, but you also tell them. Mm-hmm. You take time and tell them, listen, because, with 4 kids, they're going to be probably very different in what they want. They're 4 totally different people.
Yeah. So
encouraging them to be and pursue who and what they are and what they want to be is definitely important.
And I think, go ahead.
I was saying, no matter what's wrong with, what challenges you have, be that inspiration to them, even if you can't, if physical difficulties are keeping you from certain things, there are a lot of other ways that you can inspire your children, especially in talking to them, showing them and telling them, all that you want to tell them is, they'll remember that.
Yeah.
You will leave a lasting positive impact no matter what if you do that.
I think someone who has physical limitations, like our writer, has, it is that much more difficult when you have physical limitations. I mean, he's saying he lost almost 5 years of his life because of the drugs keeping him bedridden. And then it's all about attitude. You know, you want your children to say about you, my dad had a lot of crap in his life, and we knew he had a lot of crap in his life, but man, he never let it get him down. And he didn't let it get him down for long. Because let's face it, guys, we all have really, really crappy days. We all have fear. We all have anxiety. We all have moments where we just don't know how we're going to go on, how we're going to figure this out, or that you don't feel like you have the strength to fight this one more time. And when you do this, and you do this again, and you do this again, and you do this again, and you just pick yourself back up and you say, I'm scared. I'm terrified. I can't stand how this feels. I don't want to feel this way anymore. And you just keep going. You set the example for your children to show them that no matter how hard situations become, there's always a chance and there's always a reason to fight.
Yep.
I mean, I cannot tell you, Torrance, how many times in the past year, in the past 7 months, that I have been physically terrified, shaking, crying, nervous, feeling like I can't do this. And at the moments where I have those moments where I'd be like, I just can't do this, I knew that I could. I just didn't really feel like I had the ability to do it, Oh my God, how in the world am I going to be able to do this? And I just said, get up and go.
Yeah.
Get up and do it. You know what? Don't let this beat you. Don't let this defeat you. Don't let this happen. And, it's a powerful thing to stand up to your fear and to stand in the face and say, not today.
Yeah. And you've got the power to do it. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it, but it just takes grit in your teeth and powering through it.
And your physical limitations are painful and uncomfortable and debilitating, but it doesn't stop you from dreaming, and it doesn't stop you from wanting. And so the moments that you have where you're like, I really wish I could, or I really want to, or I would like to see myself, those moments where you say these things, don't just discount them. I say, I really wish I could travel to Paris. Like, let's just say that's something that you dream about. I really wish I could go to Paris because I love Paris. I'm just making this and pulling this out of the blue.
Yeah.
And you say, I can't go to Paris because of blah, 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 blah. Whatever the excuses are. I might be in pain. It might be discomfort for the flight. I don't have enough money. I'm afraid to travel in a country I don't know the language. All these things that come around that you're saying, I can't. But what is it about Paris that you want to see? What do you want to do? Who do you want to go with? How long do you want to be there? And think about all of those things, and suddenly it's starting to become a picture.
Yeah. You go don't just stop at, man, I wish I could. Go the next step and said, okay, what do I need to do to get there?
Or just, what do I want?
What do I want? What do I want out of it?
Yeah. I mean, if you declare it to your brain, and what do I need to do to get there? But when you say to yourself, what do I want? And you really give yourself a chance to dream, because let me just tell you this. Everybody does this. I want to do blah. And you go, I want to do blah. And I wish I could do blah. And you go, I can't because of blah, 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 blah. You just give I can't because of this. I can't because of that. And all of a sudden, you're not wanting to do it anymore.
Yeah, you talk yourself out of it.
Right. And if you take a moment to just say, forget all that other crap, and I just decide what it is I want, and then you go, I really do want that. Well, how am I supposed to get it? I could do this. I could do that. It just allows you to stop the negative thinking, or the I can't, and the defeat. I'm defeated before I even try. And I see this so many times with people where it's just like, I really want to follow this goal, but I know that I'm not going to be able to because this is this and this and this. There would have been no way I would have imagined that I would be moving to Minneapolis out of Madison. I've lived here since 1998. There was no way, because my situation was so different than it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And it is like a night and day difference. And so I would never have imagined that this would have been happening, but it is. And you just never, ever know where life is going to take you. So dream about what it is you want, and then think about what you want to do to get there.
Yeah. That's what you got to do.
Yeah. I can't give you specifics on this one, Torrance, because you just I don't know what it is that you desire. And I think that that's where you need to start. But I do think he also just, kind of claimed it and said, I want my children to be courageous and true to their own heart. You've got to do that by example. If you don't show them how to do it, then they will never learn, unless they get super lucky and they just get they're the rare breed of child that is super determined and is like, I am going to go out there and do my thing and nothing's going to stop me. Because unfortunately, there's not a lot of those kids out there. There's a lot of kids that just need to know how they're supposed to live their life.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so tough. So tough to do that when you have some limitations, but you have to rise above them and show them, like you said, by example, just that you can do it. You can rise above it, and they're capable of anything they put their mind to.
Yeah. I mean, I have a theory. I don't know if you agree with this or not, but I'll throw it out there. I have a theory that children fall into one of two categories from their raising, from their family. They either want to be as far away from what their parents are at all costs and be better than their parents were, or they hope that someday they will be as successful as their parents are.
Yeah,
and
I think there's room for a little gray area in between those, but
oh yeah. I mean, you're honestly gonna say, I would never do this. Like, I don't want to be my dad, or I don't want to be my mom in this scenario. Like, I want to do this differently than they did.
Yeah.
But either like the true motivations for a person growing up is either I want to build a better life than my parents gave to me, or I want to strive to be the person that my parents want me to be.
Yeah.
Or that my parents have taught me, shown me to be. And, and
they led by example.
Right, exactly. And so, I fall into the category of two very successful parents who worked in a lot of really amazing industries and accomplished some really outstanding things. And so I always said, I hope that I will be as successful in what I do, whatever makes me myself and distinguish myself, as good as my mom and my dad do. And, I feel like I'm on that road. I feel like I'm doing what I hoped that I would do, that, that would make them proud. And, but then there's a lot of people who say, my parents didn't lead by example at all, and I definitely don't want to follow that example.
Well, I mean, then that's motivation in and of itself, because you know what not to do. Sometimes learning is learning what to do, and then it's learning what not to do.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's knowledge either way. It's like, it's kind of like like Bill Engvall used to say, "Oh, you want to?" Might have been Jeff Foxworthy. "Oh, you want to put a fork in the light socket? Go ahead and try that out." "Oh, that hurt like hell, didn't it?" "You won't do that no more." It's like, oh, don't do that.
Thanks for the redneck humor.
Hey, it's in abundance down here, and it's been a long time since I've heard those tapes, but it all it's soaked into the brain down here,
That's awesome. So we've gone at length on this discussion, but I think it's a good one.
It is.
And Torrance, I hope that, if there's more that you need or wanted to share about your situation, your questions are very generalized. And so, from coming from our perspective and the ways that we see the world, I think that you've given us enough background information to say, I think you just need to find where you want to start and what you want to accomplish.
Yeah, and for some people, it's making a list like of the big things so that you can kind of visually prioritize in it. If that's not how you work, then that's fine too, like Jules. So yeah, whichever way you want to do it, however it works for you, just to get the ball rolling.
Yep, my nickname is No List Jules.
No List Jules. Show title.
Show title, No List Jules. And we thank you, Torrance, for the letter. We hope that this has helped, and we hope that your situation continues to improve, and that you've
absolutely.
And I will be in touch about the life coaching as well, because I know that that's been out there for you. My apologies for the delay. It's been kind of hectic. So
just a wee bit.
Just a wee bit, and it ain't gonna get much easier for another couple weeks, but we'll get there. Okay, thank you again. Again, more questions are needed. questions@taurentthinktank.com if you want us to do that. Otherwise, we're gonna make stuff up, and you never know what's gonna come out of our mouths.
You never know.
You
never know.
Never know. And so you never know what's going to come out of Tell Us One Thing, and that's what we're going to do next, right now.
We read your submissions because reading your mind would just be creepy.
And we start with a Tell Us One Thing from one of our patrons, our top level patrons that we meet with every month to talk and have a Skype call for an hour. And this young man just had a birthday. His name is Ethan. And he said, if you were one of the people working for the CGI for the Warcraft movie, what kind of Easter egg would you have put into the movie?
That's a really, really good question. Because they put in a couple of really, really good Easter eggs in there. And
they did.
They were really awesome. I mean, they had all of the all of the all of the chieftains from all the clans, because Kilrog was in there. I didn't know it till I had to watch it on my third viewing to watch it. And Ner'zhul, I think, was in there. He's the guy with the little cap and everything. So they had a lot in there for us. Been trying to think about what I would do. I think maybe one of them, I know it would take a lot of time to model a gnome, because I know that it takes a while to do all that, but I'm thinking, what I would have done is, in the spoiler alert, in the end of the movie, at the very last scene where King Lane's memorial is happening and they're transferring the power to Anduin and Lothar.
Yep.
In one of the scenes where they're showing all the people in attendance, they have the high elves there, they have the dwarves. One of those shots where it shows everybody, I would love to see a gnome kind of jumping up and down, trying to get a good view of the front. It's like, I can't see. What's going? You can't see me, but I'm actually jumping up in my chair right now. Just trying to get a good view. Like, you don't have to be in the main shot. Just kind of way in the background, trying to just see just a little bit of Easter egg for him. I'm thinking I would probably go with that. One thing I really wish they had done is some kind of like druid reference. Like, they had so much time in like the forests and stuff.
Yes.
I would have loved to have seen like a night elf in the background, just kind of looking at what's going on, and then turns into like in the WoW cinematic, just turning into a cat, going into cat form, just and then vanish.
Yeah, there were no druids in any of this, and I don't remember who said this on social media, but they said, where were the healers?
I don't know.
Nobody was in these battle scenes healing the crowd.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, we didn't have any priests.
No.
We could have. Well, isn't no wait? That's Varian's wife was a priest, I think, not Lane's. So yeah, there could have been a priest. I mean, we didn't have any shamans, because back then there were no shamans for the Alliance.
Right.
Had to wait for the space goats to crash for that. Which I gotta say, for the one little scene where we got a close-up view of the Draenei at the beginning, that was so cool to see.
That was cool. You wanted to see more of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no paladins either. Although King Lane was he appeared to be kind of paladin-y with his, very shiny armor.
His armor
But
was
he didn't
super
really,
paladin, but he didn't have any light powers.
yeah. So I'm thinking maybe they just did that. So that's the kind of Easter egg that I would have gone with is just a little gnome reference. Tiny, little pun intended. What about you? What have you would have wanted?
I wanted companion pets. I wanted to see somebody running around with a little like companion pet that was running with them. Obviously the orcs had the frostwolves had the wolves.
Yeah.
But there were no companion pets anywhere. And there was a reference to one. I mean, Garona made a note that one of the it said that an orc something pet was fiercer than Anduin Lothar.
Yeah, they're
Remember
in the
that?
throne room. Yeah, I remember that.
And so I was like, well, I want to see one. Like, can I see like an Egbert running around or something?
Little Egbert.
Yeah, it would have been fun.
Yeah.
Or anything like just any kind of cool companion pet. There were no they had the dwarves and they were making weapons, but we didn't really have an engineer reference or like a mechanical squirrel or something. I just wanted to see
cool.
that.
A little clockwork gnome following somebody around.
Seriously, exactly.
Just a little something.
Or a Jeeves in a corner or something.
Oh yeah.
That would be
Jeeves,
cool.
In the armory where they have all the armor and stuff, if they'd put a Jeeves like back in the corner, that would have been awesome.
Yes. Oh, Bim knew the exact quote, "Orc children have pets more fierce than you." Yes. I wanted to see that. So yeah, a little Jeeves hanging around in the armory would have been cool too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Those are my Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. I would have liked that.
Thank you, Ethan.
Yes, thank you, Ethan. We really like that question. I spent a bit earlier today thinking about it. Just like, what do I want? They had some good ones in there. But yeah. So yeah, thank you for that question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see here. The next one comes from our buddy Mimmoth. First pain, then pleasure, now fear. What do you fear the most? Phobias or just life worries? For me, it's things crawling on me. Ugh.
All right, let's see. How many can I list? Heights. I hate heights. Like put me on a really high thing and I'm just gonna just no. I don't mind flying though. It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't like spiders, snakes, any like flying insect, like bees, wasps, flies are fine. Ladybugs are fine. But dangerous flying insects, let's say that. What else? What else am I afraid of? Horror movies. Roller coasters. Oh, let's see. Cleaning up someone's vomit.
Yeah.
No. Changing a diaper. No.
Yeah. I've done both of those.
Yuck. Yeah, all right, I've listed plenty.
Yeah. I'm kind of similar in a lot of them. I don't like unrestricted heights. Like, I'm fine with flying.
Yeah.
Inside a building, that's fine. But just open air, you are way above the ground. You will most certainly die if you fall off this thing.
Yeah.
I was like, nope. Survival instincts kick in, and I want nothing to do with that.
You just nope right out of there.
Yep. All aboard the nope train. And yeah,
I like that as a show title too.
yeah, we could use that one. And also bugs. Like I really don't like bugs, especially spiders or pretty much anything with 8 legs or 6 legs and a stinger. Like bees, yellow jackets, hornets, all that stuff. I'm just like, get away from me. I get my wife makes fun of me because I go into like convulsions if I see things near me. Like I will run away from a little bug Like I don't even know. I don't want to take the chance that it's going to sting me.
Yeah, no
I
kidding.
I just don't want that in my life. So I run away like a really scared cat, like a scaredy cat. I just run away and dodge it. One time I had a wasp chase me from the house all the way down the driveway and into the street.
Ah!
And then I ran back in the house. Like it had a vendetta against me. I was like, man, I was not messing with you, and he just decided to really pick on me that day, and it scared the crap out of me. So yeah, that's definitely one of them. Gosh, what else? I scared of the dark a little bit, but
Yeah.
only if like it's like absolute darkness and it's creepy.
Yeah.
That kind of things bug
Yeah.
me. Like I have when I worked overnights and on the weekends I would be, home alone, and like 2 or 3 in the morning I'd get hungry and I'd go down the street to like the Subway that was open in a gas station, and of course it's pitch black outside. Can't see anything. And I run real quick to the car and turn on the headlights and I'm like, I don't know what's there. Leave me alone.
I gotta say, zombies is another one.
Ah,
I
yes.
can't watch zombie stuff anymore. It freaks me out too much. I get, bleh.
Brains.
No. Oh, no, don't do that anymore. No
That'll be a
more of that.
ringtone. I'll make that a ringtone.
No, I don't
Just
want
set your
that.
phone. That'll be your alarm to get up in the morning.
Oh God, no! I'm never getting out of bed.
Jules, wake up.
There goes my phone. Bam!
Yep. Right into the wall. Boom.
Bye, phone.
So yeah, those are my big ones. Like that's the big ones for me. Just those.
Yeah. No.
Fear
more
of the
zombie stuff.
unknown. All
Yeah,
that stuff.
I can deal with that most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but frickin' zombies, man.
I
Bugs
know.
and snakes. Zafira says, if your mains were real people, what class, spec, race, faction, and realm would they choose? Also, would they PvP?
Well, Marconin is he's a spell spell chunker. That's what
Spell chucker.
spell chucker. That's
Yeah,
what
spell
what
chucker.
Anduin said. First time I thought he said spell checker.
Spell chucker.
First time. What are you doing here, spell checker?
Wow, that's funny.
Let me examine the body.
Spell checker. I want to see
Yeah.
if he spelled his name right on his
Yeah.
underwear.
Well, just check his nameplates, like above his head. I need to Photoshop that in at some point. I want to Photoshop that in, just like scenes from the movie. But yeah, so yeah, he's way into spells. So that's what he does every day, all day. So I'm thinking if he played the game, he would want to do like melee. So he would want to be like a fury warrior, or maybe even a rogue, because he's fed up with getting killed by rogues all the time in PvP, which he doesn't do anymore. He used to do that. And he got tired of rogues. So I'm thinking he'd be melee, or maybe even a tank.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be something different. Mix it up a little bit.
Cool.
And I think he'd stick with Alliance.
Yeah.
Because it's it kind of something similar. He just wants something different, but in the same vein of what he already does day in and day out. And no, he would not PvP, and so he would be on a PvE realm. He would just wants to go around, beat up on the bad guys, but not be ganked by some really high level person randomly for no reason at all. Makes me mad.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't do it. So that's what I think he would do. What about Julana? What would Julana do?
Well, I think Jelana is actually going to be better suited as a feral druid, because in real life, there's a whole lot more convenience that comes from being able to just shapeshift into any animal that you want for the convenience sake, right? So, cat form can run fast. Bear form, I can intimidate other people. I can go into water form and be my manatee and just do all that stuff. And go to tree form, and I can get taller and reach things up high. So It'd be druid and then go to feral druid for that.
Yeah.
Definitely would stay night elf if I could, but I also I don't know. I mean, I still want a panda druid.
Yeah.
Still want a panda druid. So that's probably what I would make her a panda. Faction would be alliance for sure. I've got way too much alliance gear to change over. Like personally, like I wear too much alliance gear. Seriously,
Yeah.
guys.
Like I don't own a single Horde shirt.
Yeah.
Like the closest thing is what I'm wearing now, which is the Warlords of Draenor shirt that
Right.
has all of the warlords on the back.
Yeah.
And that's about it. I still need to get that bifactional movie shirt.
I love that shirt.
The ones that we handed out at the movie.
Yeah.
I need to get one of those. I went to the Mall of America Hot Topic, and they had every other size but my size.
No.
Like, come on, dudes. 2XL is not that big.
Yeah.
I'm just very broad, okay? Very broad-shouldered, long torsoed.
Go to Jinx. Jinx has got them.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Jinx.com.
I'll just go buy from Jinx.com, which thank you for sending in the free stuff that we gave out at the movie premiere. Thanks,
Yes,
guys.
Jinx, you're great.
Not a sponsor
Well,
of the
actually,
show.
They might be soon. I'm working on it.
What?
I'm working on something. I'm trying.
Wow, okay.
Click-through thing on our website.
Well, breaking news.
I know, right? Does she PvP? No, I don't. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Guys, we're Care Bears on this show. Make love. Make love, not Warcraft. Well, yeah, and Warcraft, because we are Warcraft. We play that.
Yes,
So, yeah.
Yes.
I like to opt into being killed a lot by rogues. I don't like to have it happen when I don't want it to happen.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you there.
Yep.
All right, next one.
Okay, next one is from Tur Arts, the awesome and lovely Tur Arts.
Love
She
that.
writes, which Overwatch character would you want to hire as your guardian?
Zarya. Like, seriously? That girl is badass, and she
Yeah.
can, basically just kick your ass. And so I would, please guard me, Zarya.
I do like Zarya a lot. I love playing her too, because I'll get on a couple of those maps. I'm like, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Big, strong Russian woman. Oh, I got to tell you this real quick.
What?
So the store that I work at now is like a retirement area. Like we have a lot of retirees that retire to this area of Arkansas.
Yeah.
Because there's natural hot springs that are nearby, and there's all these other, and there's an entire city that has been built upon these like retirement, not quite timeshare-y condos and houses. So it's a big retirement area. So we get people that retire from all over the place. And so I'm working, and a man walks up, and he's like, and he says something about, excuse me, do you still have any trousers here?
Trousers at Best
Yes.
Buy?
Yeah, and I was like, when I walked in, the last time I was here, I was over here on this side of the store. And I was like, I don't think we've ever sold those. No, I remember there is here. And it had this big, he was dripping with Russian accent, and it was wonderful. And so I just, I asked him like several more questions just to say, just to hear more of him talking. It's like, I need to absorb this. I want to soak in this accent while I'm talking to him. And it was so cool to just be like, well, I'm also looking for this. Have you seen? Okay, well, I will try again later. It was like almost stereotypical Russian, what you think, like cartoon Russian. And I was like, oh, I love this. I love it. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you for this. So I love Zarya's voice because of that. Just love her character. But I would probably go with Reinhardt.
Oh.
I would have to say.
Yeah.
Because of his shield. Because I love, like, even earlier today, I was playing as Bastion, and we were doing defense on King's Row. And yes, May is Bay, Bim. May is Bay. But as a guardian, I would want Reinhardt. And I was on Bastion, because, I love Bastion. I'm a good Bastion. I'm not just to sit there in sentry mode all the time. Anyway, I was as Bastion, and Reinhardt was like, set up wherever you're going to set up, I'll shield you. And he shielded me for the entire time. And we wrecked face because I had this huge shield in front of me. And I'm just like mowing people over. And then I would have to move and adjust, and he'd move with me. And it was great.
What
it was
a
great
nice
pair.
Reinhardt player.
Yeah. We ended up losing the match because they just like stacked ultimates against us,
Yeah.
and then it was over. But it was a really good beginning. Like, and we had like 15 seconds left
That's
to hold
awesome.
the first thing, and then we lost it, and then they eventually lost the map. But it was still great. So yeah, Reinhardt for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we've got one. Oh, are you reading the last one?
Yeah.
Okay.
The last
I
one
couldn't
is
remember.
from the B Matt, and he says, "You're a Jedi. What color is your lightsaber?"
I love that. I love that he can just make me a Jedi with 3 words. You're a Jedi.
Thank you.
I'm a Jedi. Yes. I would have to say probably go with orange. It's just my favorite color
Ooh.
of orange. So I just go with an orange lightsaber.
Okay, so my favorite color
Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
is red.
Oh,
Then I'm a
no.
Sith. Am I a Sith Lord?
Darth Jules.
I mean, come on now, guys. Am I a Sith Lord? And then you go, okay, well, what's your other favorite color? Red and black. So, like,
Well,
how do you do that?
You could have like you could have it like be black, but also with like a gray or white outline around it. Almost like, it's like this void. It'd be like just a deep black beam, but then it'd be surrounded by like a gray white outer, like just a little lining around it. Because
Yeah.
sometimes with those lightsabers, they have a little bit of like static on the edge of it. So you could do that.
I could do that. I mean, the second color I would probably choose, and I don't know why I would choose this. I guess it's just because it's kind of indication of light and happiness, is yellow. And I don't wear yellow. I don't like yellow very much. But if my lightsaber was yellow, it feels like it would be the right fit.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that could work.
But I love
Yellow
red.
could work.
Like, red is my favorite color. And then there's, like, baddies who have the red lightsaber. So, Darth Jules, you're right. Exactly, Darth Jules. Thank you, Bim. Oh, that is Tell Us One Thing. Thank you guys for these great questions. As always, you can send them on our Thursdays before the show now at Tauren Think Tank on Twitter, questions at TaurenThinkTank.com, Facebook at facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank.
And the Discord server.
And the Discord server, which is tinyurl.com/TTTchat2.
Yep, we have a whole channel. # Tell Us One Thing.
I nearly had a brain fart of what our Discord link was, because I'm like, oh, it's our overlay. I forgot that too. Okay, for like what we thought would be a short show is not becoming a short show, so we're gonna go into our feedback right now. Here we go.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now bring you... Whoa, that's a lot of feedback.
We actually have a ton of feedback to read this week.
Yeah, we do.
Because we've been off for 2 weeks to do all this stuff in there. So the first one is an update coming from Muther. He says, "Hi Moo Crew, I wanted to update you guys on what happened with my situation from the letter I sent you that you read on episode 186 about my bully from high school who got paralyzed. Mm-hmm. I work for a leading electronic retailer whose name rhymes with West Guy." I'm a home theater salesperson, and about a week ago, I was working the floor and saw a guy who was my bully come rolling into the store and go right for my area. I had 2 options at this point. Option A, go cower in either the break room or another part of the store, or option B, go up to him and talk to him. I decided to man up and go talk to him. At first, he didn't recognize me because in high school, I had long hair and was 30 pounds lighter. I introduced myself to him, and when he realized who he was, he kind of had this ashamed look on his face. We ended up talking for a few minutes, and then I decided to take my lunch break and asked him if he would like to go out to lunch to catch up. We went to a nearby restaurant and ate and talked. He ended up telling me that once he got into his accident and realized that he was one of the people who got laughed at and stared at, that what he did to me and several other people in high school was just horrible and wrong. And then he told me he was so sorry and ended up buying my lunch for me. He told me that he is ashamed that he led people to almost take their life, and that if he could go back in time and tell his younger self not to do that, he would. Before we left, I ended up getting his phone number, and we're going to try and hang out sometime. I also wanted to give you a small update about the letter of mine you read the next week about me coming out as an atheist to my Christian parents. While I have not yet told my parents, I did tell my sister, who isn't very religious, which took a lot on my part. I'm still trying to get up the nerve to tell my parents, and hopefully, with my sister's help, I will tell them. Jules and Marconin, I know that you aren't very big on people giving you both slash moves, but I think that you two and the whole Triple T community deserve one for helping me get up the nerve to talk to that guy. Thanks again, guys. Matt, aka Muther, Retribution Paladin, Synthetic Guild, Area 52 server.
Man, that's almost it's almost like fate a little bit. Like it was like the stars aligned to have him come in to the very place you work. Like that's really awesome. That is really cool that it kind of just happened like that.
I'm so amazed. Well, here's the thing. If he hadn't thought about this situation with his reunion coming up, he would not have... I mean, think about what would have happened if he had seen this guy come into his store and he wasn't prepared mentally, at least somewhat, because he hadn't thought about it.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? So what would have happened there is most likely he probably would have just went, oh my God, and just like ran and didn't take the time to actually talk to him, because I know that's typically, you know, when you're not mentally prepared to deal with something like that, you most likely are just going to be like, no.
Yeah, fight or flight, and usually it's flight.
Right. So I gotta say, Muther, that is like, just because, and 2020 site said talk about manifesting stuff. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I mean, whatever you believe in life, but I do think that sometimes you kind of prepare yourself for situations that you may need to deal with in order to move on and grow as a person.
And it sounds like both of them needed to kind of move on too. And I'm glad you decided to bulk up and go talk to him, introduce yourself, and get the chance to talk, because, you know, he probably needed to let that out too. You know, that he was sorry for how he treated you and everybody else back then.
So powerful. So powerful. Amazing.
That's awesome.
Such a cool letter. Do you want to read the next one?
Sure, yeah. This one is from Chilrog. Chilrog! It says, /moo. So I read this great guide on why the Warcraft movie isn't getting enough mainstream attention and how to fix it. It's because the movie doesn't give enough background to non-Blizzard fans. This guide fills in the gaps for the new guys in a quick 3 minutes. And we've got the link. We can put it in the chat room.
Yep.
But also, if you're just listening, it's on medium.com. And just or just Google how to watch the Warcraft movie for Muggles. And that comes to us from Chilrog US.
That was very cool. Thank you for sending that.
Yeah, and I read it, and it is very short. It lays down the groundwork, and it's good. So I mean, it's like it fills you in on the basics. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie does kind of just throw you in there at the beginning. It's kind of like,
true.
And here's some orcs.
Yeah, exactly. And the next couple letters actually come for our last advice letter that we had from Apathetic Tauren, was talking about for his career. Do you want to read this one from Alessander?
For Alessander, sure, yeah. Alessander says, getting out and meeting people will help you network. Right now is election season. Pick a candidate, local or national, and volunteer. If you win, there may be opportunities. If not, you will at least have met a lot of motivated people and, get some exercise too. Good luck.
And we also got a letter from Keytab, a.k.a. Kendra, from Malfurion. She says, hi all. Tauren didn't mention what his degree was in because it seems maybe not stepping stones. May not be stepping stones. I worked at PetSmart as a pet trainer while going to school for IT. Once I finished in my undergrad, I had a hard time transitioning to an IT position. In interviews for help desk/tech support, I pointed out that I had learned a great deal of patience and how to speak with people of all types, technical acumen, and roles within many different companies. I managed to get myself as a low-pay tech support small mom and pop company. And once you have that tiny foot in the door, moving on to the next position is that much easier. I also continued school and completed an MBA and MIS, Master of Information Systems. I thought this would get me this would get me to a great higher paying position. What I found is that I would generally be in tech, but not in high paying positions. And now I am in a decent paying application support position. I am always asked in interviews, where do I want to be in 5 years? And what I found is that I don't know. My current manager was happily surprised at my candor. I said I'm interested in many different things and I don't know what doors may open. Maybe I'll stay where I am. Maybe I'll become a lead. Maybe a supervisor. I'm interested in staying within the company, but I like to keep my options open. He says this is as someone who is interested in learning and moving forward. I wish him luck, and he is welcome to message me if he would like second eyes on his interview from Keytab.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's some really good advice and a good story too.
Yeah.
Like once you get that little tiny foot in the door and you've got that on your resume, it's a lot easier than someone who's not been in the field at all.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So awesome. Thank you for that, Keytab.
Thank you. And it is now time for us to toss in the slash moves.
Moo.
Start with moo. Mammoth.
Moo.
Slash moo for bro-in-law who had a nerd rage after the movie. He did not know lore that changed in the MMO, only played the RTS.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, and this one is from Osasius.
Osaskus?
Osaskus.
Yeah.
Sorry if I mispronounced that.
I think so.
Slash moo to my new guild at Brazil for being kind and welcoming new players with love and passion. Hashtag Febatatante. Sorry
I
if
think
I
so.
mispronounced that. They're in the chat room.
He's
I've seen
gonna
them
laugh
talk
at
before.
us.
So yeah, probably laugh at my mispronunciation. But thank you for that slash moo.
And
Hashtag the translation is faith in potato. That's what that means. Faith in potato.
Febatatante? I don't know.
Febatatante.
Batatante. From Gamer Nymphadora, Tauren Think Tank slash moo to at Barber MK426. She knows why. Thank you for being there for me. No judgments, just love.
And from Priest Drago, slash moo to all the fathers, because we had Father's Day recently.
Yes, and Barbara says, and stepfathers and grandfathers and father figures.
Absolutely. We also have from Zafira, slash moo to my uncle, who has 5 children, and they are a joyous part of my life.
I see
That's
one that's
awesome.
Yes, I see one that snuck in from Tasia70 slash moo to Christy Golden for all her wonderful Warcraft books she has written in the past and her novelization of the movie, since I won't get to see it in theaters. Awesome.
Very awesome. Yeah, she does some great stuff. She's so nice too.
Yeah,
So really nice.
I hope she's going to be at BlizzCon this year.
Me too. I bought. She had a couple of copies, and I got her to autograph a copy of Tides of War because
nice.
She signed it and sent it to me. I actually have it right here on the desk. She's so nice, and I hope she's there again this year.
I think it's going to be a pretty amazing BlizzCon. I have this feeling it's just going to be a pretty amazing BlizzCon.
Oh yeah.
It's exciting. I want to read this book too. I think I need to read how she novelized the movie plot and see.
Yes.
And I think I do need to read that as well.
Yeah, I think it'll fill in some of the lore gaps and some of the missed continuities and stuff. Then I really hope we get that director's cut of the movie.
Yes.
We need that. I want that 40 minutes. I want more.
I want more, man.
More. Please.
Speaking of more, we don't have any more.
We don't have any more.
We
We're out
finally
of it.
finished this marathon show. Oh my God. What a long and action-packed, information-filled show.
Really is.
really-
We had a lot of catching up to do.
We did. You
know?
So I don't know if we're going to have a show next Thursday or not. It's going to depend on if I have to be out and moved before July 1st. So if I do, then we will not have a show most likely because I just don't know what's going to be happening. And if I don't, then we will most likely. So we're going to just kind of keep you updated. It's kind of a little bit more chaos, and then things should maybe settle down a little bit. So
Hopefully.
hopefully, I would hope
Hopefully.
so. Oh, it's so crazy right now. What's going on with you in the next 7 days or so? that we should talk about?
Yeah, well, like I mentioned earlier, next Wednesday, I am taking over the Twitch channel for Well Played Party. That's twitch.tv/wellplayedparty. Next Wednesday, the 29th, 7 p.m. Central, I'm going to be making a ringtone live on the air. And you can have a chance to participate, give me a couple of lines, suggest a voice that maybe you guys know my wheelhouse of voices.
Yes.
Any kind of little ideas that you might want to do there, I'm going to throw into that reward tier, which is for the Well Played Party, our Kickstarter, tinyurl.com/wellplayed2016. Go donate, get the ringtones, get us an awesome party over there. Yes. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Trying to think beyond that. I'm going to go see Independence Day Resurgence maybe tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah. I cannot believe I was 13 when that came out. And I remember how just awesome that movie was, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm cautiously optimistic. I know it looks like a gigantic CGI hot mess, but I'm hoping that it's going to have some redeeming stuff, and it's going to be cool. I just got to go see it because that was such an awesome movie back in '96. I'm ready for more. Ready to see it.
1996, man.
Uh-huh.
I graduated from college in 1996.
That was the summer of ska. Summer of third wave ska was '96. I remember that because I was neck deep in ska music that summer.
Yeah. Yeah. It is something. Okay, here's my admission. I've never seen the first one.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding.
I think did we talk about this before?
Yes.
We did. I'd forgotten.
Yep.
Jules, you got to fix that. It is
I
such a
know.
great movie.
I know.
I mean, it's kind of dated now, but it's still good. It's still good.
So you can tell that I'm not excited about going to see the new one because I didn't see the first
Yeah.
one.
You can just go see Warcraft again. I mean, I've seen it 3 times. I'm going to see it at least once.
I need to go
Once,
see
maybe
Finding
twice more.
Dory first, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I need to see that first.
I kind of wanted to see Central Intelligence, but I don't know. That one looked pretty funny.
That did look pretty funny. I'm sitting here. Spike is laying on the floor right now, and he's dreaming, and he is running in his sleep.
Aw,
He's twitching and running in his sleep. It is the cutest thing.
I love it when they do that.
Oh my gosh, he's
Yeah.
he's going all out too. Like it's just like this right now.
It's some he's chasing a bird or something.
He's something. Oh,
But yeah,
man.
that's pretty. That's like the big thing that's coming up in the next week is doing that, and then maybe not the show next week, of course.
We'll
But
see. We'll keep
yeah.
you posted. Watch our Twitter.
we shall see.
Yes.
Follow
and,
us on social media and find out.
social media, and also
What about you? Well, I know what you're doing the next week.
Yeah. So I'm
Busy.
busy. So yeah, it's just kind of the chaos of the life right now. We're working on a bunch of stuff for Well Played streams. We've got some really cool stuff coming up, especially what we know now. We are having a Hearthstone After Dark stream.
Yeah, that happens right after mine.
It's right after Marconin's with Pat Crane and John Hortzman from the Well Met podcast. And they are going to play Hearthstone and swear and drink and yell at each other. It's going to be hilarious. So check it out at twitch.tv/wellplayedparty. We're working on some other cool stuff for that as well. Let's see. Again, please help us out. We're BlizzCon Party, Twitch, tinyurl.com/wellplayed2016. And Jules' life is in chaos, so just watch our social media and see what we're going to be doing, and say a prayer for me that things go well.
Yep.
Yes. So that is a show, and with that we are going to bring it to a close like this. Tauren Think Tank is a proud member of the Signals Media All-Star Network. Find out more about the other great shows in the network by going to signalsmedia.com.
Portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incompetech.com and freesound.org. You can find us outside of the show on our website, taurenthinktank.com, which has all of our podcasts and information on how to get in touch with us, too.
Thank you to all who support our show via Patreon. If you would like to help out Triple T, you can do so at patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank. Want to meet other members of the Triple T community? Join our Discord server. The quick way to get there is tinyurl.com/TTTchat2.
You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank. You can find us on Twitter for the show at Tauren Think Tank. You can also find Jules at Jules RPG and myself, Marconin, at Marconin Wow.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight and hanging out with us every Thursday night now at 8 o'clock Central Daylight Time. You can find us on the video stream at twitch.tv/TaurenThinkTank, and our mobile audio is through Alpha Geek Radio at tunein.alphageekradio.com. We love seeing you here with us however you can be. And Marconin,
Jules,
have a great week.
you have a great weekend and a great week now that we're at the end of the week.
Right, seriously.
It's my Friday. I don't have to work tomorrow.
You can go to bed at like 4 o'clock in the morning and it wouldn't matter.
I can.
I know.
Yes, I can.
Would you do that?
I might. Play some Overwatch.
Yeah, there you go. Play some Overwatch and enjoy. And so we will see you the next time we're here, hopefully next week.
Yes.
And for myself, for Marconin, for the entire chat room. Until next time, /moo, everybody.
/moo, everybody.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
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 We did it.
Yes, we did.
We did it.
It was a thing. It happened. We need show titles, y'all.
I think we had 2.
Yeah, we did. What were they?
Somebody has to remind me because I don't know. I said them and then I don't remember. I don't remember these things.
Yeah, it was something. What was it? I can bring my video back up now that the
all aboard the Nope Train. And no list Jules. Yes.
That's what it is.
I love you guys. Thank you.
Yep.
I think I'm writing them down right now. See, I should do this, but then I don't do it. So, all aboard. Yes. The Nope Train.
Aboard the Nope Train.
No list Jules. Just call me No List Jules. Jules is the Sith Lord. Yes. Did I wake you up, buddy? He's looking at me like, Mom. Did my /moo wake you up? He was running in his sleep, dude.
Really?
And Garrus was like doing upside down Superman. It was the cutest thing.
Aw.
I know.
I got to see a little kitten this week, and I get to see the cat, my nephew's cat, who is not a kitten anymore. He is huge.
He's a big boy now.
He is.
He's a sweetie, though.
Oh, he really is. He walks right up to me. Ow, ow. He's like, I know you cat. I know you are cat people.
You want to see? Let's see if Garrus is up. Can you see Garrus on the bed? Let's see if you can see him. There he is.
It's a load up.
He's not doing the Superman right now because I woke him up by probably /mooing. So he's all stretched out. There's little Garrus on the bed, and Spike is on the floor. So I can't. I don't want to pick up my camera because if I move my camera, I'll never get it back to the right spot. So, where is the cat cam? The cat cam is hard because I haven't had the chance to set it up where he's actually been in a spot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that when I move, I can set up a good spot. I'm actually probably, this is going to be really weird, but I think when I move, I'm actually going to have my studio in my living room.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm going to have it configured so like it's the living room that with the studio. So it's going to be an interesting thing. Like in that back corner maybe. So we'll have to see. Be exciting. Be cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Whatever it is that's going to be, I'm going to be moving. I'll be moving soon. Within the next week or 2 weeks. So.
Yeah. That's the coolest part about moving is you get to rearrange everything and it feels brand new and just like, oh, I get to do all these cool things.
Yeah, you don't have to stare at my doorknob anymore.
Yeah.
Doorknob.
Doorknob.
Doorknob. I didn't want to even set up a green screen because I didn't know how long I was going to be here anyway. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's very true.
Yep.
Oh man, my back just popped.
Oh, nice.
I felt good.
All right, lovelies. We're going to get out of here so I can start working on posting the show since I've got to go to work tomorrow. Tomorrow's my last day at work.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
You just flip the table. Deuces.
Bye.
Out.
I'm
Later.
outie.
You just do like a dance.
Yeah, like do a little dance.
Raise the roof.
Not in here anymore. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still going to be working for them, but I won't be going to the office anymore. So.
Yeah. Well, that's still cool though. I mean, I know you got to kind of help them out a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's extra income. So
it's
there's
extra
nothing wrong with
income,
that.
which is amazing. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could use it. I could
Definitely. Most deaf.
Most deaf. All right, folks. Have a wonderful week. We'll keep you posted on what's happening, and we will see you soon.
Yes, we will, guys. Slash Moon, have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful week. Next week, we'll see you possibly next Thursday. Slash Moon, guys.
Bye.